young girl, scarcely 16. Thanks to my parents, lots of places I've seen, but never a place that I love as well as my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will, and my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. The harbor's so pretty in the morning sunshine, as the seabirds and robins their sweet notes entwine. The fishing boats shine in the water so still, here in my home 'neath the maiden tea hill. When I had trouble or if I was sad, I always found comfort from good friends I had. They knew that I loved them and I always will, and my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will, and my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. With her fishery failing, I may have to roam. Dear God, how I'd hate to leave my dear home, but each night in memory, sure I'll see it still. My Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will, and my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include interview concerning Healthy Western Region Project. Next week is Drug Awareness Week. November is Diabetes Awareness Month. Interview regarding the upcoming Burnett's Telethon. These stories and more coming up after these words from tonight's sponsor.
Hello, 'tis I again, back to tell you about Bessie and how much she likes that custom car place. We was walking up the road t'other day when she stopped right dead in her tracks. Bessie, I said, what's wrong? Is your rheumatism bothering you again? Mo, she said, look up there. Well, I looked up, and looming up so pretty as a picture was custom carpet. My son, 'tis painted the prettiest blue I ever set me two peepers on, and trimmed with canary yellow. My dear, looks some nice, but then with all the hundreds of paints of colours you got up there to choose from, what would you expect?
A public meeting regarding health care was held Wednesday night at the Anglican Parish Hall. Representatives from Western Healthcare Corporation and Community Health Western were present to make a presentation as well as to answer any questions that people might have.
You can see that this group is not the least bit shy with us, and they told us off already. So that's what we need, though. We need honest communication. If we're making a mistake, if we're doing something wrong, we need to know that, and we need to know how to change it. If we're doing something good, we also want to hear that, because if something good is happening, you might be able to bring that somewhere else. You might be able to help another community. So please, we want to hear both sides. Don't have to roll to these.
Okay, thank you, Renee. I think this is about the fifth presentation that I've attended, and this group, the size of the group tonight is second only to Bombay. So it's really nice to see this many people. Okay, I'm going to try to give you some information about the health boards to start, and then give you some food for thought, I guess. First of all, Community Health Western, which again is Minnie's board, or the community board, has 14 board members. Okay, and these board members come from different areas throughout the Western region. The 1995 budget for this board was $8.3 million, and that is money spent for community-based services. There are 195 employees in 22 offices throughout the region, and there are numerous programs that are offered through this through Community Health Western, and they include health promotion, protection, and research, as well as public health nursing and continuing care. And the emphasis of Community Health Western is on preventing illness. Okay? These kinds of programs that I've just mentioned, they're what we traditionally, most people kind of relate those to public health of the past. And they offer such programs as immunization, school programs for children, well-baby clinics, that kind of thing. Community Health Western also has a responsibility to provide mental health services as well, and that's an area over the years that we've been rather lacking because it's not as tangible a problem as physical needs, and they're doing a lot to try to address that very issue. They're also responsible for addictions, and many times we associate addictions with more drug and alcohol problems, but it also now includes the increasing concern with regards to gambling addictions in our province. And finally, rehabilitative services, and these include physiotherapy and occupational therapy, which traditionally used to be in the institutions. They belonged in the hospitals. They were administered through the hospitals, but they've been transferred to community. And the other that I didn't mention is speech-language pathology. That's another program under rehab. Okay, so that's that board, and the board that I work with is Western Healthcare Corporation, and we have 18 board members, and again, there's representation throughout the region. Of that, I'm sure you are aware. We have Mr. Marsden from the Burgeo area. We have 2,300 employees, and they are placed in 8 sites, as well as 19 offices and clinics. And some of these are shared with community health, as is Calder Health Center. The 1995-1996 budget for Western Healthcare Corporation and all of those sites and offices that I've just referred to was $79.7 million. And the Western Healthcare Corporation is responsible for providing institutional-based services. That includes primary medical care, which is the care driven by the family practitioners, whether it's an inpatient or an outpatient service. It also includes acute care, which includes emergency. And that can be anything from inpatient psychiatry to renal dialysis programs, to surgery programs, and on and on.
I'm speaking with Minnie Wastmeyer, Executive Director for Community Health Western. First of all, I'd like to thank you for speaking with me today. There are several names floating around that we hear here in Burgeo. We hear about the Western Healthcare Corporation and Community Health Western. Can you tell us what the difference is between the two?
Okay, there are 2 health boards. The Community Health Board delivers the services such as public health nursing, continuing care, home support, health promotion, health protection, rehabilitative services, mental health, addiction services. Okay, so that's the community health service. The institution service provides things like the acute care hospitals, the long-term care institutions, the physicians' clinics. So both of us provide different services, but by working well together, we provide the best services for the people of Western Newfoundland.
Okay, can you tell us what exactly is the Western Region Project?
The Healthy Western Region Project is exactly that. The 2 boards working together, but not just with themselves, with their partners. And their partners are all 95,000 people who live in Western Newfoundland. Every one of us have a role to play in health. Every one of us can do something about the health of ourselves and our loved ones, whether it's providing better nutrition, whether it's getting out and going for a walk, okay? All of those things impact on our health. The Institutions Board and the Community Health Board have a role to play to help you, the Community Health Board to help you stay healthy, the Institutions Board to provide services when you're sick. So we've got to have us all working together if we're going to make a healthy Western region.
Okay, what is the reasoning behind the community open house displays and meetings such as the one tonight in Burgeo?
Some of it is around the fact that we have a certain health budget and we are expected to provide a service to the people of Western Newfoundland. People have many wants right now and they have many needs, and we're not meeting the needs, let alone the wants. So what we're doing is going around asking them, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? Can we improve our service? We have this amount of money. We cannot provide everything. So which services do you really need? And asking them to help us out. And we're getting a lot of comments from people throughout the West Coast. And all of that data is being compiled. We're writing it down and getting an idea of what people are saying to us and helping them determine where healthcare is going to be in the future.
So were you pleased with the turnout at the meeting here tonight in Burgeo?
Very much so. Very much so. They were very informative. They had questions they asked and they wanted answers. They also helped us with some questions. I hope that they now take some of the questions we asked and come back to us with answers. We did not expect answers to our questions tonight. We wanted them to have a look at it and think about it. So I hope some of them take up that challenge and come back to us.
Okay, so what were the major issues and concerns brought forth tonight?
The lack of physicians in rural Newfoundland is a major problem. And many of the smaller rural communities, especially those accessible by boat, do not have a good health service provided right now. So that's one of the biggest questions that they've had, both here in Burgeo, but also in Ramia and in Stephenville and in multiple other communities throughout the West Coast. That one's coming up again and again. Another issue that some people have had is home support. Some of them want to keep their loved ones home as long as possible. And if they could get some home support, they can keep them there longer. They want them to go into the acute care hospital right away. So how do we provide that? Some of them want to keep their hospital open and don't want any changes. We can't do it all. So somewhere along the line, priorities are going to have to be set and decisions are going to have to be made. And what we're asking the community is give us some idea as to how they really believe that should be done.
Okay, so will you be having further meetings here in Burgeo?
Yes. Now, we will also be probably doing some short-term decisions that we have no options with. We have an economic reality. We have a budget we have to meet. But as well, we're coming back again, and it'll probably be in the new year. We're coming back to all the communities and saying, this is what you said to us. Did we hear you right? This is some of the things that have happened since. What do you think of them? Are we communicating with you better? Can we do a better job of that? Because in the past, we haven't been getting information out to people. We've been making decisions and acting upon them with no input until afterwards. And people no longer want that. They want to have a say. Even if we make hard decisions, they recognize hard decisions have to be made, but they still want to know about them before they're in the news and everywhere else. They want to know some information first. So we're going to try to improve on those things. We're not pretending we know how to do this right, because this is new for us. So we're asking people to let us know if we're doing something wrong, but also to let us know if we're doing something right.
Okay, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you very much.
This coming week, November 17th to 23rd, is Drug Awareness Week. This year's theme is Drug Awareness Begins With You. Take the challenge. The Department of Social Services office here in Burgeo are teaming up with the local RCMP detachment to sponsor a poster contest for grades kindergarten through 6. We will be visiting A.J. Matthews School next week to see some of the posters that the students have on display. Also, to help promote drug awareness here in Burgeo, we will be airing videos such as the one you're viewing throughout the week. The police and public health nurse will be visiting the schools to speak about drug awareness. There will also be information displays at both schools. Parents and students are encouraged to get involved and get informed. The Student Council from St. John Central High are organizing an interactive panel discussion which will be airing on Wednesday night beginning at 7 p.m. Get involved in the fight against drugs. Stay with us. There's more of This Week in Review still to follow.
T'other night, Bessie got up in her sleep, tripped long over the dog, and whop, put her right through the wall. Don't worry, Bessie, I said, long as you didn't hurt your we can fix the wall, 'cause Custom Carpet got a full line of drywall knives, sandpaper, plastering large buckets and small buckets. They also got plaster tape at prices that just can't be beat. Bessie, good job the wall wouldn't break all there.
The month of November is Diabetes Awareness Month. The Lions Club are planning events including a clinic to test blood sugar levels. And it is hoped that we'll be able to get an interview with diabetes educator Ope Wiseman during her upcoming visit later in the month. Diabetes is a common illness around Burgeo. Although medical advances are coming up with different and simpler ways of taking insulin treatments, such as the new insulin pen and the new recommended 4 injections a day for insulin-dependent diabetics. But these things are treatments. There is still no cure. But with a combination of exercise, healthy diet, and in some cases pills or insulin injections, diabetics can lead relatively normal lives. There are a shocking number of people with diabetes that do not even know they have the disease. There will be a diabetes screening clinic held sometime this month. It is free of charge and will only take a minute of your time. If someone in your family has diabetes, you should seriously consider having your blood sugar levels checked. The date, time, and location of this clinic will be announced at a later date. The Burnett's Telethon in aid of the Jaws of Life is only a week away. I spoke with the fire chief and Burnett's president about the upcoming telethon. Speaking with me in the studio today, we have Fire Chief Glenn Han and Burnett's president Cynthia Green. Welcome to our studio.
Thanks, Dave.
First of all, Glenn, we'd like to congratulate you on your new position as fire chief.
Thanks for having it.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Jaws of Life?
Well, the Jaws of Life is a piece of machinery that the fire service use to help rescue people, say, that's involved into a vehicle accident. Like the machine itself is heavy hydraulic, and later on we'll show you a picture of basically the one that we're looking at, probably trying to get if we raise enough funds. And the machine will be used, say, like, well, car accidents and fatalities or whatever. Something that you wouldn't have to use, say, a cut saw, which would probably use sparks. And if there's gas or whatever around, could cause another serious accident, which, you know, if gas is leaking out, you could get a spark and that could cause a fire, right? So that's what this heavy hydraulic Jaws of Life would be used for, to cut, say, the top off a car or a steering wheel or take a door off of a car to get a person out.
Okay, so how much is the Burnett's hoping to raise through the telethon?
Well, we're looking at $16,000. That's the basic thing. $16,000 is what we need.
Okay, so what would happen if, like, say, if you raise more than that amount?
Well, we got plans for that too. Because, like I told you, it's just a basic thing, $16,000, that's taxes included. But there's a lot of add-on parts that we can get for it, like such as airbags, and there's different things we can get to add on.
So basically, the more money you raise, the better machine.
Oh, the better type of machinery we will get, yes.
Oh yeah, this machine, like the one that we're looking at for Burgeo, that's according to the fire commissioner, basically that's the minimum that we would need for this area. You know, we could get by, say, with this one approximately $16,000, but I mean they can go up to $40,000, $50,000. But also, like Cynthia just said, there's add-on machines that we can use. Say, example, the hair bags that we could use to put under a car to help lift it up if someone was trapped under a car, rather than have to use the Jaws lift to cut the car apart to get the person out. If you had, say, for instance, those hair bags, you could put them under the car, and with hair, you could blow them up, right? And raise the car. Plus, there's rams that we got. This one that we're looking at now is about, say, that long, but you can buy them longer. For to lift up a car, or weed your car apart, whatever the case may be. Plus, you know, there's chains and all kinds of different head-on machinery that we could buy to better ourselves. Hopefully, we wouldn't have to use it, but you know, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Because as you are aware, I mean, the closest one to Burgeo is Stephenville, and I mean, you know, we can't just phone in Stephenville in a matter of a minute. They'd be on their way. If the accident is out on the scene of the Burgeo Road, I mean, you're talking on at least at least 2 hours before they can get out. I mean, 2 hours is a long time if a person was trapped in a vehicle. And I mean, it's not saying it can't happen. It can happen to me, or it can happen to you, or anybody. A lot of people got the feeling, oh, it can't happen to me. But I mean, that's just the time something like this do really happen, right?
So what types of things do you have planned for the telethon?
We've got line dancers, and we've got singers, like from around town. And we've got, hopefully, the fire commissioner, Fred Alec, will be in. The fire chief, Jim Andrews, is coming out from Stephenville. And I think Joe Organ is coming over from Ramsglen.
Joe's coming from Ramsglen, yeah.
So, like, throughout the day, we'll be having, you know, those singers, and, we're taping the line dancers. And we're going to have draws throughout the day. We have a lot of prizes and stuff to be drawn, like, say, for every hour. So, hopefully, it's going to be a lot of fun for us while we're raising the money.
Okay, so if there's anyone that wants to come and pay their pledge on that day, or come make their pledge in person, that will be done for this telethon at the fire hall? Is that right?
Yes. There's going to be somebody at the fire hall from 2 o'clock until 10 o'clock that night if anybody wanted to go in and pay their pledges. So
Okay.
rather than have to bring an air.
So where would your pledges be collected after the telethon's over?
At the fire hall.
Okay, is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
No, not right offhand. The only thing, well, we hope that people will support us. It is a very worthwhile project in the fire department's opinion and the Burnett's opinion, that we really do need this piece of machinery. We've been fortunate enough over the years that we haven't had, say, too many serious accidents. Well, we did have one, say, last year, but I mean, we don't know how soon you could need this piece of machinery. So if we are lucky enough to get it, the fire department will greatly appreciate the support of the community. Also, like Cindy has spoke on just a minute ago, we got a lot of prizes as such. We haven't went to none of the businesses here in the community to ask for ask for donations. What prize we have got is all head of town prizes. The Lions Club, the Lioness, and Lodges, they have already gave us a donation as such, which we will acknowledge, say, on the telethon that day, right? And well, plus there's other organizations that have given us a donation as well. So like you say, like all the prizes that we have got so far, clear from what we got here in BBS, that have come from out of town. So we haven't went to none of the stores, like in the community, to ask for a donation for this telethon so far.
One final thing, if there is any groups in town that are planning to come forward to make presentations during the telethon, we'd appreciate it if you could contact us so we could schedule times instead of having 2 or 3 groups show up at the same time. That would be appreciated. We'd like to thank you for coming in and speaking to us today, and we wish you the best of luck next Sunday.
Okay, Dave,
thanks,
thanks,
Dave.
and hope people will support us. Thanks.
Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review following these words from tonight's sponsor.
T'other night, Bessie and I was sitting down watching the bandwagon, 'cause we loves that. And right at the blue, she said, "Mose, you know the people of Burgeo was lucky." Bess, I said, "What you rambling on about? Lucky, what's he talking about?" 'Cause she said, "We can go up to their custom carpet Tuesday to Saturday and Thursday nights and get our choice of hundreds of colors of paint and paint sheens. They got melamine, kitchen and bath paint, eggshell, and velvet, and that's only a few, my son Wicky 'tis."
Off the rack. This week as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a video of the first telethon held live here on BBS. Here's a look back now to the mid-1980s.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our continuation of our telethon here at the Burgeo Broadcasting Control Center, I suppose you can call it. And we want to show you again our chart here. And right now we've got $15,400. Look at that. Isn't that amazing, the amount of support that we have got here from this community and from the relatives of the people living here from all across the country, down in the States, Central America, France, from all over. And everybody with a combined effort here of right up here to $15,400. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pass you over to some more local talent, but this time we're going to go live again. We haven't had anybody come in yet with any musical background for us. So right now, without any more further ado, we're going to give you Gerald Anderson, and I guess, Gerald, you're going to do the Rubber Boot song, is it this time? Right on, Gerald, so take her away.
I'm a hardy old sailor from Newfoundland shore. I fish for me living on a wild Labrador. And my fishing's all over, me work it's all done, and I'm going out tonight with me rubber boots on. I ate up me supper and I shaved off me beard. For courting indeed I was highly prepared. With the day's work all over and the night coming on, I remember that night with me rubber boots on.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Monday, 7:30 p.m. for Drug Dialogue. Learn to talk about drugs with your kids. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Then at 7:30 p.m. we will have Driving Under the Influence. And from 8 to 11 p.m. we will have BBS West Viking College tutorial service. On Wednesday at 7 p.m. the Student Council at St. John Central High will have a panel discussion on drug awareness. Join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Norman Day, 1944, a musical tribute. This video will be followed at 7:30 p.m. by Really Smashed, Teens, Alcohol, Driving, and the Law. And at 8 p.m. Mr. Benoit will be here to assist students with any problems they might have on BBS West Viking College tutorial service. Tune in on Friday 7:30 p.m. for Open Flame. And on Saturday morning, Pansy and the gang will be here for Pansy's Garden. Be sure to join us next Sunday from 2 to 10 p.m. for the Burnett's Telethon. Due to the telethon, This Week in Review will be airing on Monday night, November 25th. That program will be followed by the season premiere of The Bandwagon. Please stay tuned now for Norman Day, 1944, a musical tribute. This video comes to us from the War Amps. We hope you enjoy it. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.